The attacks on Israel will intensify as years go by. Watch out, these are the signs of the end.
I just want to share with you some things I saw about the nation Israel. I saw heavy attacks being rained upon this nation by other nations. They have been planning for a long time to attack Israel, but it seems that time has finally come when they have decided to attack this nation. And I demand prayer should be made for this nation, because the attacks I see about to be rained upon her are very great attacks, in which weapons of mass destruction shall be used. And for what I see in the spirit, it isn't just a single nation that is about to fight Israel, but many nations coming together. Even though they may hide behind a single nation, but it's an agenda by many nations coming together. And it may look political, but it's more of a religious war. Hatred has been kept for years against this nation, and many nations are trying to come together, also with some groups that share the same ideas like those nations coming together to fight Israel. Even though a nation may be projected or a group be projected, it's a scheme brought together by many nations and many groups to attack this nation. And so let prayers be made for this nation, for them to be protected and for God to spare lives in the mighty name of Jesus. The tensions and confrontations between Israel and Palestine will intensify. I also see some rebel groups attack parts of Israel.
More breaking news tonight. Palestinians from the Gaza pulling off a stunning and surprising attack on Israel. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been killed.
Hamas militants fired thousands of rockets and invaded several Israeli towns.
Yeah, they've also taken civilians and soldiers hostage while Israel is launching a devastating counterattack at this point. The battles on Israeli soil, though, are the first in a decade. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that we are at war and we will win it. And he's backing that up by calling up hundreds of thousands of Israeli military reservists.
Hundreds of Israelis are dead, thousands others are injured, and those numbers are expected to grow since the ambush by Hamas 24 hours ago. It came during a major Jewish holiday and followed the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. And tonight, as you said, the fighting continues in what's being called one of the darkest days in Israeli history.
Israelis woke to a barrage of rocket attacks.
For Israel, this will be very much what the equivalent of 9/11 was for the United States.
By land, sea, and air, Hamas militants broke through the border, ground forces storming into residential neighborhoods, murdering civilians and taking others hostage.
Terrorists came into the houses looking for people to kill, to kidnap. They burned the houses.
Sirens echo across Israel, more than 2,200 missiles fired into the Jewish state. The country's defense system unable to intercept them all.
If there was no Iron Dome, we would not be having this conversation right now.
President Biden making it clear to the world the U.S. unequivocally stands with Israel.
We will not ever fail to have their back. We'll make sure that they have the help their citizens need and they can continue to defend themselves.
As Israel regroups with its allies and Israeli defense forces take back its territory and launch a counteroffensive, here in Los Angeles, the Jewish community remains resolute in its support of the Israeli people.
And I think it's incumbent on all responsible nations, all responsible people, including those in the region, to clearly speak out against this, condemn this violence, condemn this evil.
We will not be intimidated by these horrific events. We feel tremendous pain and anguish because these are our family members, either direct family members or extended family members, certainly brothers and sisters.
Officials tonight report more than 200 Palestinians have been killed since Israel returned fire. And there are questions about the catastrophic failure of Israeli intelligence to predict this invasion at the border. This as the prime minister vows to turn Hamas strongholds into rubble.
This morning, Israel launching its offensive front against the Palestinian militant group Hamas after an unprecedented, deadly and widespread attack on Israeli soil. Here, Israeli armed forces target Palestinians at the Israel-Gaza border fence. President Netanyahu saying the first stage is ending by the destruction of the vast majority of the enemy forces that infiltrated our territory. Saturday morning, thousands waking up to sirens and explosions. At least 300 Israelis are dead, at least 1,800 injured in the complex Hamas military operation that took the nation by surprise by air, land and sea. Israeli officials reporting that at least 30 policemen were killed in the fighting with Hamas-affiliated gunmen. Overnight, Israel's answer to Hamas terror illuminates the night sky. Airstrikes rain down on the Gaza Strip. Another airstrike flattening this Gaza high-rise. Israel says it's targeting Hamas command locations. The Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 300 Palestinians have been killed, nearly 2,000 others injured. But these scenes are only a glimpse of what may come as Israel prepares its fuller response. Hamas video shows armed Palestinian militants crossing into Israel on foot and by motorbike. Near the border, militants running on foot with hostages. Armed fighters firing shots into Israeli camps, bodies lining the streets, some shot in their cars.